Hi, everybody. As always, I like to start the live chats just reminding everybody that this case is about Abby and Libby, their families, Richard Allen and his family, and the town of Delphi. I'm not going to do my usual summaries or my chat rules since a lot of you know the rules. So I have not done live chats for a month, so I said I would do 2 member live chats and 2 public live chats. So this is the last of those 4. I just wanted to give people an opportunity to join and discuss your thoughts on the case. So I will highlight whatever comments you guys enter in the chat. Hi, Jinx. Hello, Jinx. Hi, Jerry Lynn, Miranda. I haven't said hi to people in a long time. Hi, Eleven's Ego, Miranda. Hi. You told me how to say it once before. DD's. Hi, Jill. Hi, Salty Beach. All right, here. Thank you, Salty Beach. You're first up. Hi. I'm curious to know if you feel any differently about Rick's guilt innocence following the most recent hearings. Are you leaning more in one direction now? So I was thinking about this earlier. If I was on the jury and I had to vote today, would I vote guilty or not guilty? And some people might be surprised. And I would say if I had to vote right now, I would vote not guilty because I have not seen like convincing evidence that he was definitely bridge guy and involved. There are a heck of a lot of things that are pointing towards it, but I would not feel comfortable sending him to prison for the rest of his life and possibly preventing the true killer from being found based on the amount of evidence that is public. Having said that, I think what is actually going to be presented at the trial by the prosecution is going to be enough that would maybe convince me that he is guilty. Excuse me, guilty. Yeah, I still have COVID, so excuse me. I want to see the 1:27 p.m. Hoosier Harbor Store camera, which police said it's his car. So if that matches Rick's car, that's something that's going to make me vote guilty. I want to hear from all these witnesses who were on the trail, the 4 girls from 12:30 to 1:30, witness 4, the other 2 men who passed CPS and saw a certain kind of car. I want to hear from the 357 driver on 300 North. I want to hear from all these experts. So I also want to hear, as you just said here, from the recent hearings. Apparently, Rick has made 61 statements with details maybe only the killer would know. I want to hear his voice on the phone to see how much it matches to the bridge guy's voice on Libby's video. So today I would vote not guilty. That does not mean that I think he's innocent. November 15th, maybe at the end of the trial, after all this other stuff has been presented, based on what I do know now, I would probably be voting guilty after I hear all the evidence, but we need to wait until that's all presented. If that's going to happen, do you guys think this trial is happening in October? What the heck is this status hearing on this Friday? Yeah, so this is my last scheduled live chat for what's been going on for the past month. This Friday at 1 p.m. Indiana time is a status hearing where the first part is going to be closed to the public, so just the attorneys, and then I guess there's going to be a second part where I don't know if they're going to reveal what they talked about in the first part. So this Friday, I will be doing a member live chat first. And then once we know what happened at the status hearings, I will do a public live chat. I have not scheduled it yet, but it'll probably be, I don't know, starting at maybe 4 o'clock Eastern, which is for you international people, that's New York City time. So I'll probably schedule that tomorrow. And then maybe like an hour or 2 later at 6 p.m. New York City time, I will do a public live chat. Next topic. Hi to everybody who's joining. Hi, Illegally Blonde, Humanimal, Mar, Louise, Aspen. Yeah, Aspen, Connor. He and Hannah Shakespeare were nice enough a few days ago to join my chat, and I think I and a lot of other people appreciated their firsthand accounts of the hearings from the 3 days in 2 or 3 weeks ago. And today, Aspen is still doing a series where he talked to another content creator, Turbo Time, with their thoughts on and their notes on the 3 days of hearing. So go to Aspen Connor's YouTube channel to hear his review of the hearings in further detail. Hi, SB74 Norwegian Muse. Necessary Evil says, hi, I'm thinking he's guilty but law enforcement did a shoddy job and a shady job also sometimes. I agree. But I've said many times, law enforcement can be bad at enforcing the laws, and Richard Allen could have been there and done this crime. Hi, Jennifer. Hi, Luna Blue. Luna Blue is having doubts about a video of Rick's car at 127. Well, what's your problem? The police have seen it. They've said it. There's been like 3 different versions of the PCA released over the whatever almost 2 years. One said it resembles Rick's car. One said it appears to match Rick's car, headed toward CPS 1:27 p.m. So I don't know. Would they really put that in there if they're not going to be able to prove it at the hearing? We'll see. Hi, SP74. Can't you take Rick's word for it? These 61 confessions? Yes. I mean, those are the ones with the details. Plus, there's another 40 where he apparently just says, I did it, including to his wife and mom. So, yes, I think those hold a lot of weight. We have to wait and find out exactly which details he said and how they matched up to the crime scene and exactly like how specific were they that only the killer would have known. So I do think they're highly suspicious, but I'm not equating it with he's absolutely guilty because he's made all of these confessions. But I understand it's not good for him. But apparently he's also said that he is innocent. And he did have some massive mental breakdown. So most of these confessions seem to be during that massive mental breakdown, which you could say a variety of reasons for that breakdown. So stay tuned to hear all sides and all the details. Hopefully 2 months from now, it's going to be starting. Hi, Illegally Blonde. I think he's a match to Libby's video. I do not see his face in the video, but I do think the body type and the small feet are a match to Rick. Dee Dee's says the sad part is we won't be able to quote unquote see any evidence until long after the trial to get the transcripts. Yeah. Well, it does not seem like Gull is going to allow this, like some kind of last minute streaming of the trial, either video or even audio. So we're going to have to wait until these transcripts, which today, I guess Anthony Guarino submitted an email complaint to Allen County saying, why are you charging $5.25 or $5.75 per page for a transcript from these hearings, where some of these transcripts are over 100 pages, which I actually agree with him. I don't understand why the court reporter can't transcribe the hearings and then they just either make it public or charge like $20 per hearing. Why are they charging maybe up to 10 people $5 per page? That seems like a scam. Somebody needs to do an investigation. Hi, Aaron. Yeah, it's important to remind, Aaron said, well stated, I don't need to say that part, but we have not heard enough yet. Yes, there's still more to be revealed. Hi, Andrew. What about the bullet? Why am I sighing? I don't think it's necessary to convict Rick. I think it is not exact science to say that's definitely from his gun. But I do think if somebody's going to get on the stand, like I think it's a forensic analyst from the Indiana State Police who wrote this report. And she said it is subjective, but after she ran the tests, She does think it could have come out of Rick's Sig Sauer P226 gun. I'm certain that I don't know that specific analyst from Indiana State Police, but law enforcement also tested other guns to match this unspent round that was found close to the girls' bodies. For 5.5 years, they never found a gun that matched that unspent round until they tested Richard Allen's gun. Okay, they can't say it's exactly from his gun, but as a member of the jury, if they said we tested like 5 other guns and none of them matched Richard Allen, or sorry, matched the bullet or unspent round until we tested Richard Allen's, at least that would hold some weight for me in making my final decision. But as I said, there's a lot of other stuff that could point towards Rick being bridge guy and the killer. So I don't know that it's the only most important piece of evidence in this case. Hi, Instamat. He is presumed innocent unless and until he's proven guilty. So that makes sense. Mar, don't say this not for me, but for the families and for Rick. He's been in a cell for 1 year and 9 months. Mar R says, no, I don't see trial happening. Why not? And if you think it's going to be a delay, why do you think it's going to be a delay? Hi, Alec. As always, thank you for your generosity. Thank you. Oh, thank you for, yeah, I have COVID. So you just bought my NyQuil. Thank you. I also bought a 1 pound chocolate bar. So that unfortunately didn't make my COVID go away. Thank you, Alec. I appreciate your generosity. And thank you for joining. Thank you, everybody, for joining to share your thoughts. We're at, this is pretty early to even be saying how far into the chat we are. We're at 12 minutes. I'm already sweating. And well, I'll probably go to like 1 hour. I just wanted to give an opportunity for other people to join who did not join the other days of the chat. Hi, rescue all the dogs. Whenever you're in my chat, you're not rescuing all the dogs. Humanimal, hi. Same. I need to see for myself to make my own assessments. Yeah, I'm not sure. As Dee Dee's just said, we'll get the transcripts, but I don't know that we'll ever hear Rick's voice from the phone calls from prison. I don't know. Hopefully the jury hears enough to make the proper decision. That's the most important thing. Instamat, yeah. Judge Gull keeps denying every request from the media. So it's not looking like it. A lot of people who've been in the courtroom said it's very small. I've said, why not put a camera right on Judge Gull? But apparently she rolls her eyes like I do. So she doesn't want to be on camera for a month straight, which I don't blame her, but I don't like being on camera for 3 hours. So it's not looking like we're going to get any kind of coverage from this other than transcripts after it happens and whatever people telling what happened after. Thank you, Alec. Hi, Fire and Ice. Which one are you, fire or ice? Hi, Ashley. The Ashley, I'm sorry. Hi, Eleven's Ego. I know a motive doesn't have to be stated or provided necessarily for a conviction, but I am very curious as to what his motive was in depth. According to law enforcement, he did state the motive in these phone calls, but I don't know if he says he's only talking to Feo is not to match face red smiling live. I don't think the car on the video is not a match. Okay. I thought you said you didn't trust it though. Hi, Brown Eyed Girl. I haven't seen you in a while. Hopefully you're doing well. Humanimal says innocent until proven guilty in a court of law, beyond reasonable doubt, etc. does not mean it is unreasonable for citizens to expect that an arrested charged person is guilty. Correct. None of our opinions matter. Okay, Luna with her third and final answer. I don't think the car in the video is a match. Well, you haven't even seen it yet. Luna, you have to wait and see all the evidence. I've said this probably like 10 times, but it was a very good observation by my member, ex Tina, said when police finally got Rick's car in October 2022, they should have just driven it by Hoosier Harbor Store and taken that video to compare. If it's the same exact car, Rick is screwed. But if it's not, then Luna gets the prize. Norwegian Muse. I'd say seeing the discovery was enough to make him have a breakdown. That's a good point. However, there's been some kind of debate. Did he confess before he saw the evidence, the discovery? Apparently, he did not get the discovery until at least April 4th because the defense's emergency motion for safekeeping order was April 5th. I don't know. I guess maybe they wrote it on the 4th. They said they met with Rick March 24th and he was in good spirits. This is like 5 months after he was in his cell all alone. And apparently 3 days after he found God. Hopefully my shirt is not triggering anybody. Anyway. So he finds God. I don't know where he found him. March 21st, 2023. March 24th, he meets with the defense. There's some kind of reference where they gave him over 1,000 pages of legal documents on, I think it was March 24th. The defense was claiming or complaining April 5th, 2023, that Rick still had not gotten those papers. And I'm almost certain the response from the state was the defense never said if Rick should be able to get those papers in his cell or like a separate area to review the papers. Because I've talked about this before. Apparently, one of my members, DNA King, or subscribers, said he's a defense attorney and he tells his clients do not let other prisoners or inmates in the county jail, at least, get access to your whatever case details because they might see a certain fact from a case, like whatever somebody's out playing basketball and somebody sneaks into their open cell and sees a fact and then goes to the warden or sheriff and says, inmate A said he did it, and here's the fact he told me, when in reality, he just really read it off of the paper, trying to get like this other guy's sentence lowered for helping out. So I'm rambling. So apparently the defense was not answering the phone when Westville was calling to say, where do you want Rick to get access to this discovery? So it remains to be seen exactly when he finally got discovery, exactly how much of it he was actually reading. We know that he ate a piece of paper, which apparently was his discovery. I don't know. I'm very interested to see on video how much was Rick trying to help his own case and reading these thousands of pages of evidence? Or does he know the truth and he's like, there's no point in me reading it? Will that be presented at the trial to show this man who says he's innocent did not spend any time like reading the facts of the case? If you truly were innocent and you lived in this small town and for 5.5 years it was a mystery, the facts of the case, and you're alone in a jail cell for 23 hours a day, 5 days a week, 24 hours a day, 2 days a week, and you have like a coloring book and crossword puzzles and all the like a huge pile of facts about this case, are you going to use your coloring book and crossword puzzles, or are you going to want to read the facts about this case? So it remains to be seen what he was looking at. Next subject, sorry. Did I answer your question? Necessary Evil says, we don't know where Alan got the details and if they're even true or not. Yes, stay tuned. Ciao, polpetta del mio cuore. Instamat says, if it's in court, it's on public record, isn't it? I don't know the answer, but I'm working on something, trying to get an answer, and apparently it's not public record yet. What am I talking about? I don't know. Okay, I'll tell you. I'm trying to get the invoice, the $12,000 invoice that Walden submitted to go to Georgia to get a picture that was on the internet. I'm not having any luck. So I'm trying to figure out at what point would that invoice be public record. I'll let you know when I find out. Hi, Sister Golden Hair. Somebody agrees with me. At this point, with what we do know, I would vote not guilty. Again, that does not mean that we think he's innocent. I just want to see more evidence where I would say, okay, that's definitely Rick as bridge guy. Salty Beach. Yeah, I'm sweating. Pretend like I'm not wiping sweat off my face. Ah, I need a drink. Salty Beach coming up. How much more time? Like 40 more minutes. Do you think we will get to hear the phone calls eventually, or can they be kept private forever? I'm almost certain they would be played at his trial. Whether it becomes public, I'm not sure. As people mentioned, in other states, they've already released, like, what's his name? The guy who killed his son and Alec. What's his name? Whatever. The guy who killed his wife and son in like South Carolina. Even before his trial, they were releasing his prison phone calls. But obviously, I know 2 people in the media have tried to get Rick's phone calls through like public information for Indiana, and they were denied. Well, actually, it's not public if they were denied, but they've never leaked. So I would assume that means they did not get access to them. Thank you, Dee Dee's. Only the first request pays the full price. Is much cheaper for copies, $1 per page. And isn't it just physical copies? So you have to actually go to Allen County, Indiana to get the transcript? Hi, AK-19. Necessary Evil does not buy the bullet evidence. I didn't know it was for sale. Delete. Yeah, this is a good point. Salty Beach. I wonder how many other guns they compared it to. And I've said previously, if they had the ability and the time and money to test 1 million Sig Sauer P226 guns against this unspent round, like even if it showed like an 80% accuracy, that's like 200,000 gun owners would be considered guilty of killing 2 girls. So we'll have to wait and find out. Each side is obviously going to have an expert saying, believe the unspent round is Rick's, don't believe it. So we'll see what they say. Louise says, but when they state, but when the state is being charged $12,600 to pick up an old Facebook photo, I guess that's how they have to make their money back. Well, if I'm a taxpayer in Carroll County, I want to know how it costs $12,000 to get a digital photo. That some people said after it came out, oh, I've had that on my computer for years. But I do want to point out, the only reason the defense had to go to Georgia to get that photo was because they were not provided it by the state. So I think McClellan has said it was not relevant because BH, whose Facebook it was on, he was not a suspect. However, it's you have to be fair and say the defense would not have to do that if they were given the evidence in a timely manner from the state. High tape recorder. Did Hannah Shakespeare show you the legal document about Rick being witnessed driving away from CPS at 2:32 p.m. that you said doesn't exist? Yeah, so for people who watched this live chat 2 days ago, Hannah Shakespeare said she saw a YouTube video, I guess a live chat, where somebody said Rick's car was seen headed towards Ron Logan's around 2:30. And I said, no. So I did get down to the bottom of that. And she had seen a YouTube live chat from a few days ago where the person was going over the PCA for Richard Allen. And in the section, I think, where they talk about the variety of car descriptions at CPS between, what was there? 210 was a guy, I guess, driving on Hoosier Heartland Highway who said it looked like a purple PT Cruiser or small SUV. 4 minutes later or so, witness four is leaving the Mears parking lot headed towards CPS. She said it looked like a car from the 1960s, a Mercury or Ford Comet, similar to what her dad had. And so she was on 300 North, which I think there was like bushes that could have been blocking the view, but okay. And then at 228 was the third witness who said it was similar to a smart car. So Hannah's statement in my last live chat was based upon the other YouTuber incorrectly thinking that 228 driver who said, look, the car CPS looked like a smart car. He then passed Hoosier Harvester camera. And so his car was seen at that time, not Rick's car. So Rick's car was never seen, as far as we know, which I think a lot of us want to know. Only in the PCA it said around 127, he was headed towards CPS. So obviously he did not go back. If he is the murderer and walked past Mears and saw a variety of cars, maybe that was part of his decision to not go back home that way. However, going the Mears way is the longest of three routes to get home. So if he just killed two kids, he would have gone Hoosier Heartland Highway or through the center of town. But why was no mention in his PCA about a video showing him going through the center of town of Delphi at whatever, 4 or 5 p.m.? Sorry, I rambled about that one. Anyway, hopefully that cleared up that much. SP74, the clerk said the transcript has to be typed. So it sounds like the first request one has to be pay $5.75 a page. Isn't there artificial intelligence that could help her out, help assist her out? Liam says, I hope the admissions of guilt will be taken into account, as he was under duress. Surely physical evidence should be enough. I'm just hoping that like the full story, including what he was doing before that day, during that day, after that day, what he's been saying in prison, hopefully all that information, all these expert witnesses, the witnesses on the trail will help the jury make the correct decision. That's all that matters, hopefully. Necessary Evil says, if Rick does not take a deal, he's insane. Well, I don't know. I mean, I think Harshman was the detective who's been listening to Rick's phone calls. And he said, I'm pretty sure that Rick, I guess, said to somebody, he doesn't want his family to hear the details of the crime and he's guilty. So why are we at this point where there's been a bunch of hearings and Rick has not changed his plea? His wife and mom have come to pretty much every hearing, although the last hearings they left before like the unsettling details of the wounds to Abby and Libby were revealed. So I don't know. I guess Liam said, won't. I hope the admissions of guilt won't be taken into account as he was under duress. All right, thank you. I think they should be, but I think we should also hear from a variety of mental health experts with their thoughts on why somebody would say over 100 times, I killed kids when I did not. I don't know. Sister Golden Hair. So according to another YouTuber that went to the hearings, said the 60 plus confessions, none of his details match the crime scene. I thought the detective said at least 61 of the confessions did contain details, plus another 40 that were just like a basic I did it. Hi, Gulls Gavel. Yeah, I feel better, but I sound as horrible as ever. I never sound good. Mar believes the trial will be delayed because it's been one delay after the next, and why should we not expect more? I agree. And I've wondered if Rick truly is guilty, is he just delaying the inevitable in his mind that he's going to be convicted and told by Judge Gull, the jury said you're guilty, these horrible conditions you've been enduring for the past 1 year and 9 months, or 2 years by the time of the trial, that's your everyday for the rest of your life for the next 20 to 30 years. Is that the reason why he's not changed his plea officially? Hi, Carol. Thank you for sharing your hospital expertise. It's the same for hospital records. When you request those, probably even more expensive. They charge per page also. Hi, Big Bird 420. Are you smoking doobie? Hi, Tax Cut. My COVID fever lasted 3 weeks. I had a 100-degree fever, but now it's down to 98 something. Although I was eating a lot of ice cream, ice cream pops. Hi, Alex. Long time no see. Hi, bud. Yeah, this is my 4th one in 4 days, but I'm gonna get a few days break. Instamat. Yeah, I think obviously, a lot of people want to see this trial, but the most important is for the family, the local community, and the 12 jury members who are gonna figure out how to come to the proper decision. Oh, SP 74. I thought that was something else. Buffering? What's going on? Technical issues? Frozen? Uh-oh. Screen is frozen. All right. You didn't miss anything. I was probably rambling. Oh, Lordy. Blame the FBI for everything. Sorry. I don't know. I get too far behind. I'm only 16 minutes behind on comments. Oh, Lordy. Sorry. Thank you for anybody who's up late, like Liam in the UK. In all honesty, as a person from the UK, filming a trial live feels a bit strange. Well, I've never like really paid attention to a case or a trial like this, and I was hoping to see how it starts from or how it goes from start to finish, and apparently that's not going to happen. Salty Beach said maybe they did drive Rick's car past the camera to compare. Hopefully it matches if he truly is guilty. Fire or ice, I don't know which one, got COVID at the Colts Broncos preseason game. Outdoors? Yeah, if you're traveling, I would highly suggest on a plane or airport, wear a mask if you don't want to ruin your trip. I said Rick found God. Instamat said, who knew God was missing? Apparently, from his life, he was. So, yeah, if you missed it, Richard Allen, apparently wanted to send his Bible to the families of Abby and Libby. I don't know. How would you feel if the accused wanted to send you his Bible? Hi, Cece. Thank you. Yeah, overall, I feel okay. Thank you. Louise says the YouTuber Turbo Time said that Richard Allen wrote the Warden on March 5th, which, yeah, so apparently he sent a written letter to the Warden confessing. But didn't the Warden give it directly to Internal Affairs and not read it? Apparently, Rick said he also wanted to meet with the Warden to confess. And when the Warden would come check on him, I think Rick said to him just flat out, I killed Abby and Libby, but with no details. Hi, Curious Contrarian. Thank you for your generosity. Mar, you don't have to hate the letter J so much. We love you, my Shiksa queen. Don't write words I don't know how to pronounce. Shiksa queen? Uh-oh, I haven't asked Siri in a long time. I'm asking Siri what that is. Hi, Tammy. Thank you, Tammy. I just got that. Thank you, Tammy. Hey, Siri. Wait, I have to turn her up. Not turn her on. Wait, excuse me. Please stand by. Hey, Siri. What's a Shiksa queen?
The Shih Tzu is a toy dog or pet dog breed originating from Tibet.
Not a Shih Tzu. All right, sorry. I will Google and do a deep dive on Shiksa Queens later. Oh lordy, that's going to be on Delphi Dummies. All right, I'm sweating. What are we at? 36 minutes. I'm probably going to go only like 20 more minutes. If you're just joining, I will be doing live chats this Friday, late afternoon, early evening, probably 6 p.m. New York City time after this hearing, and we find out what it was about. Louise said, Aspen Connor made a great point about Richard Allen being able to not skip his fourth meal to avoid repercussions while in psychosis. Yeah, unfortunately, I listened to part of what Aspen said, but I missed that part. Somebody, I guess, was talking about if you skip a certain number of meals, there's some kind of consequences, and Rick knew to only skip 3 meals, and maybe the fourth meal he ate because there would have been bad repercussions, as Louise just said. I'll have to look into that more and get back to all of you individually. Hi, Life Boss Truth 7x7. Thank you for your generous super sticker. I appreciate everyone who donates. Yeah, here we go. Alex Murdoch from South Carolina. Hi, Lala. I wonder if Rick confessed in hospital in 2019. That's a good point. Prompting the 2019 presser. I don't think so. Well, sorry, I'm just saying it as it goes. They would have arrested him, I would have thought. HIPAA covers medical issues, not confessions to unalivings. What will your family think? That's a good point. We still don't know the exact date of his 2019 mental hospital stay. Was it before or after the April 2019 press conference? In my last public live chat, I said, I think it would be important to know if it was Rick was institutionalized or whatever you want to call it, or had a staycation at a mental hospital before or after. And would that show if he was guilty or not guilty? I think I triggered some people with that statement. Hi, Marshall. Thank you. I'm glad you liked my Irish video. Hi, Aaron. Could you please share how we know Rick supposedly found God? Was this written or recorded in Rick's words or supposed through others? I believe his psychologist, Dr. Walla, who spent a lot of time with him, I believe she was the one who revealed it in her testimony. Do we know if Dr. Walla was audio recording all of her sessions with Rick and those could be presented as evidence? Anybody? Hi, Hoosier Nini. I still sound horrible, but I sounded horrible before I had COVID. I feel okay. Thank you. Yeah, so I think it was Dr. Wallace said that Rick said he found God March 21st, 2023. Stay tuned. Liam talking about the unspent round. Yeah, but the possibility of the round having a match with a gun owner in that proximity. I mean, yeah, it's not good for Rick if an expert is going to get on the stand, which he will be. He's already been identified. This gun expert who's going to say this unspent round found next to the girls matched Richard Allen's gun, which I totally think if McClellan says there's some kind of like, again, like pulling it back, trying to intimidate the girls to undress or do whatever, it makes sense that it would have popped out at some point and he would have not known where it landed or that it even came out. Hi, Andrew. Sure, but how many people own a 40 caliber P226 and were confirmed to be there on that particular day? Uno. That's a good point. Yeah. Some of this stuff adding up is not going to be good for Rick. And I don't know at what point he's going to change his plea if he truly is guilty. Eleven's ego is doubtful he has schizophrenia, which tends to show up around your 20s, and he was 50 when he first went into prison. I've been on Haldol, and it is used off-label for bipolar and depression as a mood stabilizer. Yeah, somebody who's a nurse said she prescribes Haldol, and she really doesn't think that confessing to crimes you did not commit is a side effect. I know some people that might trigger them, but I mean, I want to hear from mental health experts saying, why would this man falsely confess repeatedly to so many people, writing, talking on the phone, talking to inmate companions? I don't know. I want to hear both sides. Thank you, Salty Beach. Sister Goldenhair, I think Doug Carter and Prosecutor McClelland, plus all the other law enforcement, did think it was more than one bad actor, 4 exclamation points. So what happened to all those bad actors? Yes. So at one point, November 22nd, 2022, at this hearing, I guess McClelland did not want the PCA for Richard Allen released because they thought there were other actors possibly involved in this heinous crime or whatever he called it. Where are those other people? It's been a year and 9 months to search for people who could have worked with Rick if he truly is guilty. Nobody else has been arrested. Why would they have even thought that 2 months after they started looking into Rick? On September 21st, they started looking into Rick again when they found this 74th tip in FBI system. Another month later, they raided his house, or even less than that. So like 5 weeks later, they had a bunch of stuff from his house. So why did they think somebody else could be involved? I don't know. Stay tuned. I would assume they would have obviously arrested somebody else if they found anything. Still has not happened. And if Rick is guilty, why is he not bringing up other people's names in all of his confessions? Thank you, Dan. Hopefully you're not driving and typing and donating. Sorry, I'm just looking for some new comments. Mar says he will not take a deal, in my opinion. Well, I don't know if Walden and Rosie and Auger are telling him the state does not have like a slam dunk case against you. You should at least try to have a trial and maybe get one person on the jury to not think you're guilty. We'll see. Hi, pizza. Now I want pizza. Yeah, I agree, Louise. He should plead guilty if he's guilty. That's what is best for all parties if he is guilty. Yes, but as I've said, I'm not 100% convinced that Rick is guilty. There are other cases where, like, I believe Brian Koberger is guilty and a horrible person. Rex Heuermann beyond guilty. Why are those two fools saying they're not guilty and wasting everybody's time and money? Anybody? Thank you, Aaron. I appreciate it. Curious Contrarian, thank you for buying my 1 pound chocolate bar. Also wanted to thank you for coming on the show. Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, Curious Contrarian has a YouTube channel where he does live chats, and I randomly popped up one night, and I'm sweating. Pretend like I'm not. Thank you for participating, Dan. Hi, Crime Jester. Hi, Charlie. What have we not talked about? We're at 46 minutes. I might stop in like 15 minutes. I just want to do like a quick live chat. Hi, Purple Flower. I imagine law enforcement accidentally, don't even, taped over the CCTV of whenever Rick drove home. They had, sorry, they wrote the PCA on October 13th. They arrested him the 26th. So they had like 5 weeks almost to look at this surveillance video from town to see if they saw his car driving home. So, as always, I guess stay tuned to find out if they eventually found it. It's not funny, sorry. High atonement. How long does it take to walk or walk fast from the bridge end down the hill through the woods across the creek up the bank into the crime scene? Have a question about the CP recording. Fire and Ice. Thomas Frost is on as one of those hosts. He has a YouTube channel, and I think Indie Archive. There's been a few different people who have done it. Does anybody remember exactly how much time it takes? Hi, Michael. Yeah, I try not to say my F word, excuse me, my F words during live chats. Hi, Anne. Rick must be like, I confess 60 plus times, guys, but here we all still are. Not on me, so I'll just sit here. Yeah, I just don't understand why he's okay with delaying his trial. I don't want to say if his conditions in prison were so bad, they obviously were horrible. But I can understand, I guess his defense lawyers may be saying, we're not prepared. We don't have the evidence from the freaking state yet, so we're not prepared to go to trial now. So maybe that's why he agreed to delay it another 5 months from whatever May to October. Is that 5? Yes, it is. Oh, thank you. A Shiksa queen is a non-Jewish woman. Thank you. We learned one thing during this live chat, or at least I did. Liam says, I assume being in solitary confinement for 18 months will make you do very unusual things, I suppose. Doesn't indicate innocence or guilt, in my opinion. I agree that it's a horrible thing to go from being free to his conditions. However, I mean, I try to look at both sides of everything. The defense said he was fine in those conditions for the first 5 months. They said they saw him March 24th, 2023, which is almost 5 months later. They said he was fine. And it wasn't until soon after that that he lost his mind, essentially. So I'd like to hear why. I mean, what are the both sides of why that would change? Who's Your Nini highly suggests I watch Grizzly's true crime trial coverage of Letitia Stauch, Stauch, among others, if you want to watch a trial from start to finish. All right, thank you. Wasn't she like a horrible woman who murdered her stepson? Anne says solitary confinement is a bit misleading. He's in his own private cell away from general population. He has visitors. I don't know about that. Or who's visiting him? He has medical care, a barber, a chaplain, an iPad. I mean, come on. Well, I think you like some of your details are a little bit missing. He had a tablet, not exactly an iPad. He can watch videos and listen to music. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say he's living it up and having a staycation. Next, let me go to another comment. All right. Curious Contrarian Dan is giving me more definitions of Shiksa Queen. A Shiksa is a Gentile female, all right? Luckily, I didn't say a gentle. Yeah, apparently I've been pronouncing Warden Gallipo wrong. It's what is it? I say Gallipo. You say Gallipo? He got fired or he left Westville. Not highlighting that comment. All right, next. Keep going. Necessary Evil, I guess Richard Allen, that also owns the car and the clothes and was at the bridge at the exact moment. Oh, and owns a gun that matches the unspent round. Yeah. I guess Necessary Evil thinks Rick is guilty. Hi, Remy Ratatouille. Rick found God, but has he lost him again yet? Yeah. Should I even say this? All right. Don't tell anybody this. What? Oh, I told one person this and they were like, what? All right. Should I say this? I can't. There's no turning back. I'm such an idiot. I did not do this. Let's set that straight. Pretend like I'm not telling you this. Let me sit up straight. Oh, I'm sweating. When I was in Rome, Italy, I was near the Vatican, and that's when it came out that Rick found God, but apparently, I don't know, he wants his wife and mom to say that they'll still love him, and he wants to see them in heaven despite what he's done. So some idiot thought, well, what if I write a letter pretending that I'm a priest at the Vatican in Rome, and I say, your family and your wife and your mom are not going to be the ones who determine whether or not you get into heaven. Maybe you should just tell the truth and send it with like a Vatican postage stamp and date and whatever. I did not do that. And no, I was not going to sign it like the Pope or anything. Right. Next. I should not have told you that. But again, I did not do that. So don't. I mean, what is it going to take to get this man to tell the truth if he truly is guilty, like officially? I don't know. It just seems so weird that he's telling so many people I'm guilty and a child killer, but not officially changing his plea. We'll see. I have to, I guess, explain that little facial expression there. Hi, True Psych Ward. Haldol makes you do the Haldol shuffle. Was that what Rick was doing in the JC's bar video at the pool table? Lol. False confessions are not a side effect of any psychiatric medication. All right, thank you. Well, hold up, wait a minute, because Dr. Polly Westcott is going to testify for the defense, and she's going to probably say that being in solitary confinement would make Rick falsely confess. She's on the witness list for the defense to talk about, I guess, solitary confinement and stuff. We're at 54 minutes, and I am like 10 minutes behind. I'll do a little bit longer. People are talking about schizophrenia and what age it starts. Humanimal makes a good point. I was going to say decent, but then I said no, say good. Some people think maybe he could messed up and gave correct info initially. Then apparently his wife and mom didn't react to his confessions very well. Then threw in a whole lot of garbage later because he had regret about confessions. I could believe a box cutter was used though. So apparently his mom or somebody said, they're messing with you. They're messing with your mind when he was trying to confess on the phone, and the mom and wife would hang up, I guess. However, also this detective Harshman who listens to his phone calls said Rick told his family They are mentally torturing me. I'm almost certain that was a quote that Rick said. So I can totally understand how his wife and mom have known him for decades and do not think he's capable of killing two girls. So even with him saying, I killed them, the mom and wife of Rick think it's maybe he's saying that stuff because he truly is being mentally tortured in prison. And they know he's struggled with depression and stuff, other mental disorders for years. Maybe they refuse to believe that he is guilty, and I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait for the evidence to see what he said in these confessions that does match up to things that only the killer would know. The only thing that I've heard that he said, it's just a rumor, and I love to spread rumors, I guess, I don't know, is that he saw a white van coming to the house at the end of the private drive. But the rumor that I heard, that caused him to kill them. However, from what I've read of Doug Rice, who's known as Bitterbeat Poet on Reddit, who passed away a few years ago, but he, I guess, talked to the son of the family that owns that house. And I have three different screenshots where this guy, Doug Rice, talked to the son, who was an adult. The times that this guy apparently came down that private drive was 3:30. I'm forgetting, maybe 3:40 and 3:45. But it seems like Abby and Libby were definitely killed by 3:30 or even 2:32 is when her phone stopped moving. So to me, that does not add up. If Rick said, "Oh, I saw a white van at whatever time, so then I killed Abby and Libby." It doesn't make sense or it doesn't add up time-wise, I think, for him to then be the 3:57 p.m. uh, man. Excuse me, my COVID is acting up on my legendary vocal cords. um, I don't know. It just doesn't add up. So we'll have to wait and find out to see exactly what he said, and if law enforcement were able to find out exactly when that man drove home on the private drive, where only the killer and actually there were people on the bridge too that could have seen the private drive and the van coming home. When are we finished? We're exactly at 59 minutes. Hi, badass American. Unless he wants the death penalty, well, that has not come into play at all at this point. So I don't know if it ever will. Sister Golden Hair, I know a lot of family members do leave so they don't have to see details of the crime or some verbal details, but to not show anything because of the family. This is a case like no other. Well, the thing was, Rick's wife and mom left when there were like details about how Abby and Libby were killed, but the girls' families had to stay and listen to it. They didn't have to, but if Rick's wife and mom, excuse me, my voice is messed up. I was going to say effed up, but I edited myself. Um, I don't know if Rick's wife and mom think he's innocent, then why not stay and hear the details of what your son and husband is accused of doing? Hi, Kelly, Aaron. Yeah, the investigation and the mishandling of evidence is one thing. However, I think it just comes down to him, something between him and Libby. Yeah, apparently he confessed to somebody saying, "I'm sorry. I think this is the only confession he made after he left Westville. If my memory is decent, it was February 2024 at Wabash Prison. He may have said to a guard, 'I'm sorry that I killed Abby.' No reference whatsoever to Libby. So why would he only show remorse for doing that to one of the girls he killed? Especially if they were just random girls that he came upon on this bridge. There have been people who have talked about and said that Richard Allen's family knew Abby Williams' mom, Anna. So did Richard Allen know Anna? And at some point, on the trail and the bridge? Did he realize that Abby was Anna's daughter? Or later on, did he find out and now he feels, I don't know, some kind of more remorse because he was closer to members of Abby's family? I don't know. Lala says, after listening to the 2019 press conference again, the talking points of redemption and what the family would think seems to mirror closely what Rick fears most. Might have taken time to gather evidence. That's a very good point. However, I don't agree with it. I think they absolutely would have arrested him in 2019 if they knew Richard Allen was on the trail at 213. At this point, I am going with the whatever unfolding of the investigation that Kagan lied and said, my dad and I threw items in the Wabash River. So police spent 4 to 5 weeks looking in that river in Peru, did not find anything related to Delphi. Doug Carter or somebody else says, go back to the very beginning in September 2022. Unfortunately, the very beginning included tip number 74. It probably didn't take them too long. September 21st, 2022, they see this tip, number 74 in the FBI Orion system saying this man, Richard Allen, Whiteman, it was written wrong, said he was there 1:30 to 3:30. Whoops. Yeah, so we'll have to wait for the trial to see if that's even revealed how they missed this 2017 tip. Anne asked, do you think we'll have much of this psychological testimony in the trial, or is it mostly for the motions to exclude the confessions? Yeah, so the reason why this came up was because there was a motion for admissibility where the prosecution is saying that in one of the discussions between Rick and Dr. Walla, the psychologist, Rick, I guess, gave some kind of confession with details that the prosecution feels is very important to show to the jury. So they had this hearing, and that's why Dr. Walla testified. It depends, I guess, what if Gull is going to say, yes, that can be admitted. I would assume that Dr. Walla would be a fairly large part of the trial. It remains to be seen exactly what Rick said in that confession. The state has been very tight-lipped about the details of his confessions. Who's your Nini? Who's your mama? Sorry. Who, sorry. Rick's family seemed to mean the world to him. Yes. They all seem to be very tight. We know that his daughter has not shown up to any hearings, but I don't think we should read anything into that. I could see him not snitching on others if he is afraid for their welfare. I don't know. You went in a different direction with your second sentence there than I was expecting. Well, here comes what I was just talking about. Badass American. Why hasn't his daughter been to any court hearings? Well, her last name now is, I guess, different since she's married. If you're in your, I guess she's like 30 now. She's 30 years old, I think. If your father was accused of doing this, would you really want to show up to the hearings and have your local Indiana State television show you showing up to court and say you're this child of this alleged child killer? So I don't blame her, whatever her reason is. I don't think we should really read into anything. But it'll be interesting to find out what she said in her interviews and what his wife said and his mom and all these other people. Oh, Atonement says, In your deep dive, which one? I think the cops said there was 42 more seconds to the video. The Libby's video was 43 seconds total, and it ends as soon as they bridge guy says go down the hill. They start walking, I guess, off the end of the trail and the bridge, and apparently that's when the 43-second video ends. If so, and if it takes longer than that to get to the crime scene, there's another round possibly before it. Are you talking about an actual gun round? Sorry, I'm confused. As far as we know, that was the last video. There's no other video or audio of them, whatever. What are we at? We're at 1 hour and 7 minutes. Oh, I said I'd end 7 minutes ago. All right, I'll go maybe to. I keep delaying it. I'll go another 8 minutes, and then that's it. Hopefully, I'll remember to look at the time in 8 minutes. Oh yeah, atonement. Just following up on this. The police say the video has the sound of bridge guy cycling the gun on video. Correct. So when he pulls it back, it makes a noise, and that pulls up an unspent round until you pull the trigger, and then it's considered spent and fired. So there could have been a round pop up there. Did he pick it up and put it in his jacket, and it fell out when he was moving bodies later? He never noticed it. So I do think it is a possible. There are various situations where his unspent round could have fallen out unbeknownst to him, and it could belong to him. So we're gonna have to wait for the trial to hear the defense and prosecution's theories on it. Salty Beach is being salty. Solitary confinement means little to no human contact, yet he made 100 plus confessions, 100 plus confessions to other people while supposedly in solitary confinement. This emoji. I don't know. Hi, Carla Ann. Keeping the PCA details quiet was because of law enforcement thinking there is more involved, if I am not mistaken. Another reason was because they said they didn't want the witnesses, especially the juveniles, essentially to be doxxed and harassed by all of you people. But as I said before, there's been like 3 different versions of the PCA. The first one, the names were like just erased. In the second one, they had the first and last initials. And then in the third one, they had everybody's first and last name written out. It's like, hello. Sorry. Instamat says, watch the Apple River murder trial. I have to learn how to make food. Hopefully there aren't any trolls in here. Curious Contrarian, don't feed the trolls. I'm hungry too. Thank you. Thank you for donating. You bought me my 1 pound chocolate bar. It wasn't even that good. Buy me another one. Sorry, just looking for a few topics. Uh-oh, yeah. Don't tell anybody about my Vatican thing. Pretending to be the Pope. Anne says, I'm sweating. Did we ever see the PCA in support of search warrant for Rick's home? I think that's still sealed. Always thought that would reveal a lot about the state's basis for suddenly identifying him as a suspect. So I think with the PCA we saw was for, I was going to say arresting him, but no, I thought it was about the house and searching his car also. There might be one document missing. Actually, there's a lot of stuff missing. It's important to remember over the past nearly 2 years, there's been various references to sealing of certain documents that we don't even know about. So maybe they'll be revealed later. Louise. Imagine if I signed it, Pope Webster, sealed with a crucifix. Hi, Candy Cane. Candy Cane believes Rick is guilty. Well, some people think he's innocent. So, as I've said a lot, I'm just hoping the jury sees all the evidence they need to that's relevant, not just to Rick, but to the actual commission of the crime to make the proper decision. Hi, Delphi dummies. No comment. I'm just saying hi. Hi, outside of the grid. I normally don't say hi to people, so I'm stalling. We have like 3 more minutes. Then we're all dismissed. Curious Contrarian. The other case I follow is Missy Beavers. Any updates? Not for many years, unfortunately. Um, the only update is that there's been talk about like this guy who maybe had revenge against the church where she was killed, and he died like a month later, and his family swear that that is him on the video. If you don't know Missy Beaver's case, it's the other case that I've looked into, where she is a fitness instructor in Midlothian, Texas. She would teach at normally outside, she would teach at a parking lot at a church at like 5 a.m. So she arrived at this church and walked inside around 4:20 a.m. However, the security camera inside showed a person at 3:50 a.m. dressed in like police SWAT gear and a helmet. Their appearance is totally covered. It's been 8 years. Nobody's been arrested. People think it's her father-in-law. It's not. They think her husband's involved. I don't think he is. So unfortunately, there's no updates. Her anniversary is April 18th, 2016. So the local police department did issue an update a few months ago on that anniversary and said, we're still looking into it. But unfortunately, no, there's no updates. At this point, I don't think it's going to be solved, unfortunately. But when I first looked into Delphi at the 4-year anniversary, I thought, what could police do that they've not done in the past 4 years? And obviously, it's paid closer attention to people you interviewed early on. Final 5 comments. Yeah, this is a good point. Hi, 1970s hippie. Do you smoke doobie? Was there any discussion as to why Rick was moved to Wabash prison after Westville? Seems like this is never discussed. There was never any explanation. It seems like Westville was getting a lot of heat for their guards who worshipped Odin or something like that. And maybe they were just like sick of it and were like, okay, we'll just send him somewhere else. I'm not sure. Hi, James. Those confessions should have been saved for the trial, and that information should not have been leaked to the public, in my opinion, because potential jurors can be influenced. That's a good point. And Judge Gull still has to decide if the confessions will be allowed at the trial to be heard by the jurors. 4 more comments. Hi, Lisa. I actually have Costco, I think Detroit deep dish pizza in my freezer right now. I won't count that as one of the final comments. This will be one. Candy cane. I'm sorry, but his wife had to have known something. Eye roll emoji. A lot of people say, how could you not recognize your husband, his clothes, his voice? I always say maybe it's not him, but I do think it is his body and his shoe type, whatever her shoe size. I don't know. If you have been married to your spouse for 25 years at the time of the murders, would you think your husband could have been the killer of these girls? I would assume most people would think no. So maybe she explained it away. We'll find out, I guess, at some point what she had to say. Thank you, Sister Golden Hair, for giving me your hair dye money. Sorry, I shouldn't have said that. I'm sure your hair is naturally golden. Oh my gosh. Three more comments. Now I'm sweating even worse. All right, I have to highlight a Sister Golden Hair comment since she gave me money. Would a stable person eat their own feces? Everything I researched pointed to mental illness. Yeah, I mean, even somebody who's there was this discussion at these hearings that Rick may have at one point found out that I think Logansport State Hospital, or sorry, State Prison. I might be getting this wrong. They kind of live near Logansport, and Wabash is like 2 hours or more away from his family. So apparently, if a prisoner is kind of mentally unwell past a certain point, they get sent to this Logansport hospital that has like a specialty for mental illness. He may have wanted to go there because he could have maybe seen his family more often because he was closer, or maybe because it's a mental institution. But would you even like eat your own stuff just to get that? So something's wrong. That's established, but why he's doing it remains to be seen. Three more comments. Liam says, this sounds counterproductive, but I hope the man, Richard Allen, is guilty. Otherwise, 3 lives have been destroyed among the others. Correct. And nobody wants him to be falsely convicted. So only the true bridge guy being identified and held accountable, that's the only resolution we should hope for. Two more comments. Alex said Rick was in solitary for a long time. Correct. Supposedly way beyond what most government agencies, etc., consider to be the max you should have someone in there, which I think they said, I don't know, I think I've seen 5 days, 10 days, up to 30 days consecutively before their mind starts to buckle. Well, I want to know the full timeline of his confessions, his mental breakdown, receiving a variety of medication, the Haldol, maybe being denied his medication for Prozac. I think I'm down to my last comment. Um, yeah, we're at 1 hour and 20 minutes. I'm going to do one final comment. Again, I'll be live again this Friday after the status hearing. Probably doing a member live chat at 6 p.m. New York City time for 60 to 90 minutes. Then maybe 7:30 New York City time, I'll do a public live chat to update what happened at the status hearing. What is our final comment? Thank you, everybody, for joining as always. Thank you for my moderators for moderating. Thank you to all the generous people who gave me some money. Thank you, Tammy. I saw your Venmo. Thank you. I appreciate it. One final topic. I'm just looking for one thing we did not talk about. Seriously, Aspen? Awkward silence, but I'm looking for. Thank you, Dan. I appreciate it. Yeah, we're not talking about a chocolate bar as the final comment. Just looking for a new topic. I knew I shouldn't have said that. When are you premiering, Cooking with Strangers? Hopefully by late September. I lost my place. Sorry. Still looking for one final comment or topic we didn't really talk about. Um, I guess we'll talk about this. High caricature contest. I think he's acting crazy because people know he's real bad. He'll be even worse at trial. We'll never get that far. There'll probably be a plea deal. Well, a lot of us are debating, will there ever be a trial or a plea deal? The trial was going to happen in May. We were like 10 days out and he still did not change his official plea. So is it going to be a situation like with Kagan Klein where the prosecution revealed all the witnesses that were going to talk at or testify at Kagan's trial, including his dad and some other people? So if the witness list comes out and the prosecution wants to put Rick's wife on the stand, which I know there's like marital privilege or something where she would not have to testify against him. So pretend like I didn't say that. But if, like, I don't know, is there going to be somebody on the witness list that if Rick sees it, he's like, I do not want to be in a courtroom where that person I know is going to say something I don't want to be revealed publicly? I don't know. As always, stay tuned and remind yourself we don't know a lot of stuff that's going to be revealed at the trial. Again, it should be going on in 2 months. The next update is this Friday, 1 o'clock Indiana time, which is the same as New York City. I will do live chats. I'll do a member live chat probably, what did I say? 6 p.m. Eastern, maybe earlier, and a public live chat, maybe like an hour after that, discussing whatever happens. Bye. Thank you again, everybody. Hopefully you laughed at all my ridiculous comments. Hopefully this trial, as always, is headed towards the truth. That's all that really matters for these families. These girls, including Richard Allen and his family, they all deserve the truth to be revealed. And the town of Delphi. See you in 3 days. Bye, everybody. Thank you for joining and your support. Thanks.